For me, it's very beautiful when you are waiting to get a chair in that bar that everybody wants to be part of. And to me, it's fascinating sometimes to see like maybe a younger couple, they see this older couple, and even if they are on paper before them, they let them go. A place like this allows so many new conversations and new friendships that start in a place like this.
It's part of being an audience. You're there and you recognize, you may be there for yourself, but all of a sudden you're laughing and crying with a bunch of other people.
I always love looking at empty theater seats. I find something so beautiful about the kind of ripple of color and
rhythm. Also the mark of where people, the fact that it's...
That, yeah. Exactly that. You see this century of theater going here, and then I think you also see possibility. You see that tonight these seats will be full of people. Some shows are just as much about the kind of spectacle of the picture, the broad picture, and less about are we connected?
Yeah.
So it's really just about how in the design can you get as many people as possible to feel as connected and close as possible to right here.
In that way, we could say that empathy is the attention that you can give someone, the time that you can spend hearing not just what they have to say, but what they're trying to say.
I don't know any other artist I can think of where the single performer goes from embodying one story in the next second to a very different story, and yet the audience is able to hold the connection with each character, and in some cases the relationship between those.
What I like the most is if those relationships in terms of empathy or the impossibility of empathy, right? In Seattle, performing Twilight, people reported, that there were certain moments where they're sitting next to a stranger and one of them is laughing and one of them is crying at the same thing.
Yeah.
That's, tells us something about what we want to root for and what we can't root for is stark, is very stark.
And one of the true adages in theater is the audience tells you what works and what doesn't work.
Yes, absolutely. And if you've got an idea that resonates, I'm thinking about David Chang and, Momofuku.
Yeah.
10 seats.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that he was serving ramen. It was that he was the person who understood that the audience had changed. And also, I just came back from Italy and I went to Massimo Bottura's restaurant there, and he took out all the individual tables and he put in just long tables they have in abbeys, where monks sit down. And he said, I'm going to force people to sit together. He is interested in creating community. It's very important to him. It's time all the conventions went away.
It is true when you go into a restaurant and you see people you see in other contexts, you engage with them differently.
I think that the notion of a public space where you're with others is really fundamental. You have to think of the people, you have to think of the social context, but you also have to think of the audience that you don't know about. Otherwise the design would be useless, it would be just a fantasy. Each place tells you some story. It's either a very short story, and that's over, or a story that you can pursue into other parts of your life. And I think that's the quality of architecture, of good architecture that really connects people. It's not the walls and the materials and the objective space. It's that, call it whatever you want, the index of the unknown.